Hi and welcome to Casual DIY channel. In today's episode we'll be testing 3 blades from Evolution. We'll see what makes them special, what makes them unique, if they give good results and if they're worth buying. Stay tuned. The first blade we're going to be looking at is the multi-blade that comes with all your saws from Evolution. It can cut through wood and metal. The second blade we'll be checking out is the blade that's designed to cut through wood only. So it will be interesting to see if the results will be better than on the multi-blade. And the last blade we're going to be checking out is the diamond blade. This is supposed to be cutting through concrete, bricks and tiles. It will be interesting to see how it performs on my sliding mitre saw. I will be testing all 3 blades on my brand new sliding mitre saw from Evolution. It's actually a new saw in their fleet. It's R255SMS. If you're interested in this saw, I actually done an unboxing and review, so we will link the video up above and down below. If you're interested, go and check it out. But let's get testing. So the first thing we're going to be checking is how it performs with cutting through wood. Always remember your safety gear. We'll start with a bit of pine. So as you can see, there is a little bit of tear out in the pieces. My next piece is tulip wood. As you can see, it's a bit of a thicker block. We'll see how the blade can cope with this. And again, a little bit of a tear out. It's time for an OSB sheet. And the final test for cutting wood on this blade is a glue up of some hardwoods. We've got oak, we've got sapele, we've got cherry and we've got ash in this one board. So it will be interesting to see how the blade performs with this bad boy. In the next test, we're going to be using some steel to check out the multi-blade, how it handles metal. So for this test, I've got a piece of galvanized metal pipe, a metal profile, and a piece of aluminum. very clean cut, and it's not even warm. Now let's test the blade that's designed to cut through wood only. We'll see if it's any better than the multi-blade. So we're gonna go through all the woods that we already cut and compare it. Let's get to it. And the last blade we're going to be looking at is the one that cuts through tiles, concrete, bricks and so on. For me personally, it's going to be quite interesting because I've got some tiling to do in my house. So I'm hoping this actually works well and give good results. So let's check it out. So what we're going to be cutting in this test? Well, I've got a piece of tile and a brick. Let's get into it. Before my final thoughts on these blades, if you're interested in purchasing any of those blades, I've actually got some affiliate links with Amazon. I will link them down below in the description of this video. When you buy a blade or anything else that's listed in the description, I actually get a small percentage that helps me develop my channel and bring you content each week. So if you're looking to buy one, please consider using the links down below, as you're actually supporting my channel. So if you do, thank you so much. Okay, so you've seen how they perform, so let's talk about them a little bit more. So the multi-blade is actually very good when it comes to cutting metal and steel and anything like that. The cut is absolutely perfect, and the steel, as you've seen, was actually cold to touch straight after making the cut. I think that's the quality of it was very good as well. But as you've seen, when this blade is cutting through wood, there's a bit of tear out, especially on pine. It was quite visible on the top of the board and at the back as well. It was quite significant. When it went through the hardwoods, there wasn't much there. When we went through the OSB sheet, it wasn't too bad either. It didn't struggle with cutting thicker pieces, as you've seen with the tulip wood. So the quality of cutting wood on this blade I would class as fair. It's definitely not the top of the range, but it's good. But how does it compare to the wood dedicated cutting blade? Well, as you've seen, the tear out was actually a lot smaller. It was still there, but it wasn't as significant as the multi-blade. But I have to say, when cutting through all the woods, it was a lot easier to go through. The motion was a lot smoother. It went through, as you know, knife through butter. From my perspective, I think mainly I work with wood, so I will definitely be using this blade, as it does give a better result. But if you're looking for a crisp cuts with no tear out at all, I think you need to invest in a different blade. You have to consider that this is only a cheap blade. I think I've bought this for £20, so it's nowhere near the top of the range blades, and I wouldn't expect the quality of cuts to be at that level, but I have to say it still does a very good job. And the last blade is the diamond blade. Now I have to say I'm quite surprised with how good it actually is. I've got a saw that is designated to cut through tiles, and obviously it's a water saw as well, and I have to say the quality is actually quite similar. The quality is basically the same. What you have to consider, there will be a lot of dust when using this saw with a diamond blade, so I would suggest definitely do it outside, but if you have to do it inside, use a mask, because the dust will go absolutely everywhere. But yes, the quality is actually very, very good, and even with the brick, you know, it actually went through quite easily. There wasn't any issues with it, and the quality of cut on that brick and on the tile is very nice. It's crisp, and it's quite smooth as well, so I'm quite surprised how good this blade actually is. So what are my final thoughts for these blades? Well, basically each evolution saw will come with the multi-blade, and that is good enough to cut wood, and it's very good to cut metal. I'm quite surprised how good it is. So basically, do you need the wood cutting blade? It all depends. If you're looking for a little bit more quality in your work, yeah, for sure it's worth it. It's not costing a fortune. I think it's about 20 British pounds, so it's not a lot comparing to the high-end blades. But considering that, you will definitely not get as crisp, as perfect finish when you're using the top range blades, which is fairly obvious. But it's still a very good blade. Now the diamond blade is absolutely brilliant. To be absolutely honest with you, I love it, and I look forward to putting some tiles in my house, because this will help my work go a lot quicker and a lot smoother. I'm actually quite surprised how good that blade actually is. But as I mentioned before, think about the dust, because there will be a lot of it. So there you go, guys. If you enjoyed this video and find it helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, as I do bring new content each week, and your subscription and your time that you spend on my channel helps me develop it even further and bring you more and better content each week. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Till then, take care.